Hello everyone and welcome to the Dakota Fundraising News Podcast. Today is Wednesday, October 2nd. We are pumped to be bringing you this first edition on video. For those of you who have been consistent listeners to the audio-only version, we're pumped to have you back. Welcome to another great episode, another great week. For those of you who are new, we'll just introduce ourselves quickly. My name's Pat Ty. Been here at Dakota for 4 years. I was involved on the sales team for the first 3 of those years. And then for the past year, I've been the head of product for Dakota Marketplace.
My name is Konch. I'm the head of our data team. I've been with Dakota for a little over 3 years now. Super pumped to be bringing you the podcast on video now.
And we are joined as well behind the camera by our esteemed colleague, Roberto. Pumped to see how he makes this look. We'll ask you all to bear with us this week and in a few weeks following, as this is going to be the first episode we've done on video. So if you see us reading from our laptops, we're playing around with some different things. So we'll just jump into it though. Our usual agenda, I'll go through some quick articles of interest. Konch will walk us through key job and role changes that you can check out in Dakota Marketplace. We'll touch on RIA, merger and acquisition activity, and then we'll round out the rest of the podcast with some institutional coverage. And then we'll wrap it up with some of the Dakota events that are coming up. Speaking of that, tonight I'll be at the Boston Harbor Hotel for Dakota Cocktails. Again, that is today, October 2nd. Pumped to see all of you there. We have a great cohort of listeners and subscribers in Boston that we're really pumped to see. First, to start off with some articles of interest, we want to talk a little bit about private credit. If you've been listening, we've been talking about it for weeks and weeks, as has everyone in the industry really. But Apollo and Citi have combined actually to form a $25 billion direct lending program. It's initially going to be focused on North America, and then that is also going to be working with their strategic partner, Mubadala Investment Group, as well as their subsidiary, Athene. We have some actually former colleagues who work at Athene, so if they happen to be listening, congratulations on the very exciting news. Looks like, again, like I said, $25 billion program size, intending just to invest in North America, but they do have ambitions to make that even larger and more diverse geographically. Exact quote said that they are foreseeing over $25 billion of debt opportunities in the next several years, and that they do expect to eventually branch out past North America. We've obviously been talking a ton over the past few weeks about private credit, but secondaries has also been just everywhere in the news. And StepStone Group has oversubscribed their most recent private equity secondaries fund. So congratulations to the folks over at StepStone. That is a $4.8 billion in capital commitments. And then when you add in the separate accounts exposure, that secondaries fund, which I believe is secondaries fund 5, let me just check here. Yep, secondaries fund 5 for StepStone. Got over $7.4 billion in commitments. So very exciting stuff from them. We'll continue to put in some new fund launches and successful fundraisers to the opening comments of this podcast for everyone listening. In the meantime, though, Konch, take us away with the job and role changes.
Yeah, surely, Pat. Just to jump into some recent job changes. So Mercer Global, they've named their new chief people officer, Elizabeth Heo. Apologies for the pronunciation there if I have that wrong. I'm sure I do. But she's been named the new chief people officer for the Denver-based RIA. Elizabeth previously was the chief human resource officer over at Standard Industries, and before that, a partner over at McKinsey & Company. The other job change we wanted to call out was the new head of wealth management over at Steward Partners. So Jeff Gagno, who was previously head of recruiting and a founding partner there, has been promoted to head of wealth management. This closes a 2-year vacancy for the position. Gagno will retain his role as the head of recruiting for the New York-based RIA.
Yeah, the RIA news is always really exciting. Pumped to keep bringing this all to you all. So Kingswood US, they have just acquired 2 RIAs, both based in Nashville. That is part of the Eudaimonia group. They have also entered a strategic alliance with their 3rd unit at the Eudaimonia group. They manage between the 3 over $1 billion in client assets, so a very exciting move there. And they will now join 17 advisors on the Kingswood network. So very exciting as they continue to grow out that network in the Southeast. If you're not familiar, LPL's advisor channel, Linsco, Linsco is how that's spelled if you did want to look that up. Well, they've now added 57th Street Wealth Advisors to that group. 57th Street Wealth Advisors was previously under the Wedbush Securities umbrella, so now moving over to be under LPL, which is going to be a very exciting change. A huge pickup for Morgan Stanley as well to round out this segment, as Morgan Stanley has gotten on board a $1.2 billion advisor team based in Kentucky. That is the 9-person Brown Wealth Management team. They are based actually in Paducah, Kentucky. I personally am not familiar. I've never been. I'm sure there's great barbecue and everything else that Kentucky's known for. The founder of the Brown Wealth Management Group has noted that this will actually be Morgan Stanley's first branch in Paducah, Kentucky. Not enough of an expert on the area to know if that's groundbreaking or not, but it's very exciting to see what's coming out of Kentucky these days.
All right, on to searches. We did just see a new RFP come through this morning, so we're recording this Monday, September 30th. By the time you guys are hearing this, you guys should have already received this email alert in your inbox. If you're not subscribed to Dakota Searches, you can do so on our website at dakota.com. We'll send out any RFPs to your inbox in real time. So just to call it out though, Cambridge Retirement System, they're looking for real assets, timber, farmland. They just released this RFP through their consultant, Siegel Markle Advisors. They're looking to allocate about $45 million through this RFP. Deadline is going to be at the end of the month here, so October 28th, 2024. A couple additional information for the RFP. The RFP is going to be for an open-end timber fund or an open-end timber and farmland fund, excluding REIT funds. Mandate will be for approximately $45 million, as I mentioned. And then just an additional detail here, minority-owned and woman-owned businesses are strongly encouraged to participate in this specific RFP. Also released not too long ago, Texas ERS has disclosed their 2025 commitment plans across private market asset classes. So within private equity, they're looking to allocate $650 million in 2025. This is going to be split between 12 primary funds and 5 to 9 co-investments. For private credit, looking to allocate about $200 million in 2025, focusing on follow-on investments in their current portfolio. And then in real estate, they're looking to target $300 million to that asset class next year, between 4 to 7 primary funds and 1 to 2 co-investments. And then lastly here, within private infrastructure, they're looking to allocate $200 million between 3 to 8 primary funds, 40% of commitments to co-investments there is the target. And then lastly here, we'll just call out a little update from the New Mexico State Investment Council, where they manage around $56 billion in assets. They reviewed their real estate portfolio at a recent meeting, and they're going to be looking to increase their non-core exposure in real estate from 40% to 60%. So pretty significant increase there on the real estate structure. No additional details at the moment, but we will provide more as we learn more. I think we have a little bit more from New Mexico as well as far as the recent investments that we made. Pat, what do we have there?
Yeah, very exciting stuff coming out of New Mexico. So they've made 3 relatively recent commitments. These are all made public on their most recent meeting on September 24th, but they've invested with an early stage venture capital firm, $60 million commitment to the Builders VC Fund 3. They have also made another actually early stage venture investments with TK Media Tech Ventures. That was a $15 million commitment. And then finally, a lower middle market buyout fund managed by American Securities, that's Fund 9, and that was a $100 million commitment. Here in our backyard, we had Pennsylvania State Employees Retirement System making a few commitments. First, LLR Equity Partners was selected. LLR is actually Philadelphia-based, so Pennsylvania State Employees Retirement, keeping the money flowing within the state, which is good to see, with a $75 million commitment to LLR for Fund 7. Still on the topic of Pennsylvania State Employees Retirement, they actually had a consultant change. Those are always exciting to call out. They're all tracked in Marketplace. RVK has been selected as their general investment consultant, and they are replacing Callan. Pennsylvania State has just about $40 billion under management, so no doubt a great win for RVK. I'm sure everyone is very excited. And then one more that we'll just run through quickly. We had the San Antonio Fire and Police Pension Fund, Texas-based, obviously, $4.5 billion, give or take, under management. They have a handful of consultants that they leverage, NEPC, Makita, Townsend, to name the 3. And they have a quick search update. They've selected the following managers for their private debt fund search. They've selected Metric Capital Partners Fund 5. That is a special sits fund. That was a $25 million commitment. And then VGO Special Sits 3, which is a distressed private credit fund. That'll wrap up the majority of our main topics today. Before we talk about some upcoming Dakota events, Konch, why don't you talk about the most recent update with Dakota Performance?
Yeah, so if you're not familiar, we've introduced performance data to Dakota Marketplace earlier this year. Over the past few weeks here, we recently added an additional 7,000 records of performance. So total in marketplace, currently we have over 20,000 performance records for over 6,500 investment strategies. That's across private equity, private credit, private infrastructure, private real estate, and hedge funds. All of that you can find in Dakota Marketplace, and we're continuing to add there every single day. If you're looking to submit your firm's performance to Dakota Marketplace, you can do so at performance@dakota.com or reach out to your customer success manager. Pat, why don't you tell us about our upcoming events?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I mentioned, tonight we have Boston at the Boston Harbor Hotel. It is an unbelievable venue. We're getting very lucky with the weather this time of year as well, so we're really pumped. Next week, a lot of our team will be in London. You'll have myself, Guy, Tim Dolan, some names I'm sure you're familiar with from Dakota Live and the Dakota Live podcast. We'll be at the Ham Yard Hotel, unbelievable venue. And then October 23rd, you'll have Konch there as well at the Dakota Cocktails Philadelphia on 23rd and Chestnut, right downtown. You can actually not really see it in these pictures because that is the other side of the city, but we're pumped to be hosting everyone in Philly. It'll be a really fun evening as we start to settle into the fall before the holiday season creeps up on us in November. Thanks everyone for listening in. Let us know your feedback on the first video episode, and we will see you later this week.
Thanks, everyone.
This episode is brought to you by Dakota Marketplace. Are you tired of constantly jumping between multiple databases and channels to find the right investment opportunities? Introducing Dakota Marketplace, the comprehensive institutional and intermediary database built by fundraisers for fundraisers. With Dakota Marketplace, you'll have access to all channels and asset classes in one place, saving you time and streamlining your fundraising process. Say goodbye to the frustration of searching through multiple databases, websites, Form ADVs, and say hello to a seamless and efficient fundraising experience. Sign up now and see the difference Dakota Marketplace can make for you. Visit dakota.com/Dakota-Marketplace today.